Good morning. This is Bill Richards and Elder Insight, and I just wanted to talk about. Uh, well, let me just say that I've been really wrapped up in trying to understand why Jesus healed people, different people, in different ways. Uh, and if you've read the Bible, read Matthew, read Mark, Luke, John, you see that Jesus went around healing people, and some people he said simply, "Your faith has healed you," and other people he takes them aside and talks to them, and other people he does different things, and it doesn't seem like there's there's no routine, and but I was thinking about one specifically. Uh, Jesus was in where is this? This was in Mark chapter 8, verses 22 to 26. A blind man came to Jesus, and Jesus took him by the hand and led him away and talked to him, and and then healed him in a second stage. But um, I guess why did he take this one particular man aside to heal him? And it kind of couldn't figure that out. It didn't seem clear at first. So then, as I read along, I realized that you know, because Jesus is the definition of compassion and love, and um, he realized that this blind man was distracted. There's probably a lot going on, and he was distracted, and he had his own fears and thoughts going on inside in his mind. And Jesus led away and talked to him kindly, and and we don't know exactly what he said, but the point is that when Jesus comes near, we can't be distracted by other things. So often we'd rather be distracted, or we choose not to be distracted, but this the squirrel cage in our brain keeps spinning with all the worries and concerns. But Jesus wants us to focus on Him, on His presence, and He will not be one distraction among others, and just one aspect of a busy schedule. There's a Bible um, historian and scholar who his name is McIntosh, and he says that as I said earlier, Jesus will not be one distraction among others, one aspect of a busy schedule. Jesus wants us to answer him face to face, and this is a quote now. His purpose is to isolate us alone in his company. He speaks, we listen. He gives, we receive. And in the case of this blind man, Jesus took him aside and wanted to arrest his attention. And Jesus spoke. And finally, when they were alone, the blind man listened. And then Jesus gave uh, the blessing of healing, and the blind man received. A perfect example, I think, of this distraction that occurs is in Luke chapter 24, verse 16, where these two men were walking on the road to Emmaus, and they were talking about the news in Jerusalem. Jesus had been crucified, and 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 they thought that um, the Savior had come, and that Jesus was going to start a new kingdom, and here he was dead on a cross, buried in a tomb, and and Jesus appears to them, and they didn't recognize him. In fact, it says specifically, and I'm going to read this so that I don't get it wrong. It says, they were kept from recognizing him. I have heard all sorts of explanations for that particular verse, and most of them say that he was kept by recognizing them, that uh, Jesus kept them from recognizing him, or God kept God kept them from recognizing him. I don't think that's the case. I think they were kept from recognizing him uh, because they were distracted. They were talking about this thing that happened in Jerusalem. Their minds were not on the possibility that Jesus would actually rise from the dead and appear before them. So they didn't recognize him. And in that way, they were kept from recognizing him because they were distracted. Just like we get distracted when with the things of this world. We're so busy buying new tools or building new houses or wanting a new car or getting needs met or just distracted in all sorts of ways. And but Jesus won't be one aspect of your busy schedule. He wants your attention. You pray to him. You pray with a clear mind, and you focus on the concerns you have and the things that you're asking for, and 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 be there with him. You ask, and Jesus gives, and so uh, that was an insight I had. That's my opinion, and from reading and studying about this. But I hope it helps you, and God bless you. And I'll see you next time.